There are many reasons why people move to Portugal. Some of them are the right reasons, some of them are the wrong reasons. But at the top of everyone's list should be the potential to get healthier. And that's what living in Portugal will do for you. After 1 year of living here, I'm down 24 pounds. Last month, I turned 47 years old. I don't think I look like I'm 47. Do you? I don't think I look any older than 35, to be honest. I'm in the best condition of my life. And I certainly don't feel 47. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that moving to Portugal is like the fountain of youth and that you'll feel like you're 21 again. No, that's not what's going to happen. But if you've been out for a while and you have to go back out and you got to take a nice long walk to get to where you're going, you're not going to be sitting around like, oh, I just got home and I'm so tired. I can't believe I have to go back out. No, you're just going to be able to get right up and go out. And you're going to feel energetic. Not like you just drank a Red Bull, but you're going to feel like a normal human being. So today we're going to talk about why and how living in Portugal makes you healthier. My name is Howie. This is Positively Portugal. Let's get into it. The biggest reason you will be healthier living in Portugal than the United States is the food you eat. I'm not going to talk about every single food item there is because the video would last all day, maybe even all month, and nobody's going to listen to it. But we're going to start with a staple, bread. In Portugal, bread is flour, yeast, water, a pinch of salt, and that's just about it. There is no triple dehydrogenated dextrosa-sized corn syrup that just sits in your stomach, sits in your colon, and it makes you look like crap, and it makes you feel like crap. And bread is truly treated like it's a staple, whereas it's not treated that way in the United States. I can go to a store here and get a 250-gram baguette for 46 cents. When I did that in the United States, the cheapest I found it was $1.25, and that was more than a year ago, so I'm sure it's at $1.50 now. We're probably pushing upon 3 times the cost. And to the point where nobody is really buying fresh bread in the United States. Most people, I shouldn't say nobody, most people aren't. Most people are buying packaged bread. And yes, you can do that in Portugal. You can buy packaged bread. But with the quality of freshly made bread here and its almost non-existent cost, there's no reason to buy packaged bread. What does bread break down into? It's carbohydrates, breaks down into sugar. So let's talk a little bit about sugar. Let's talk about candy. Did you know that if you bought a package of gummy candy here, like gummy bears, gummy worms, they have about 1/4 the amount of sugar as a bag of gummy worms and gummy bears in the United States? In the United States, you're getting addicted to that sugar. There's a reason why there's that much sugar in it. So you get addicted to it. So you keep buying it over and over and over again. I don't know if there are laws limiting the amount of sugar in products here. Maybe there are, but maybe it's just a matter of common sense, which should not be called common sense. It should be called uncommon sense, because if everybody had it, only then would it be common. So yeah, you can buy a bag of gummy bears, you can have a handful when you get home, and you say to yourself, oh, hey, I like this. This has less sugar than the gummy bears back home. And you put it away and you forget that you bought it. A week can pass and then you'll remember, oh, I bought gummy bears, because you're not getting addicted to it. And you're fine after a handful of gummy bears. You don't crave anymore. Whereas in the United States, you're instantly getting addicted to the sugar. You're having 2 handfuls of that crap, 3 handfuls of that crap. And that's why you look like crap. That's why you feel like crap. But let's talk about something that is not crap. Fruits and vegetables. You know, I'll admit, I no longer see a big difference between American produce and Portuguese produce. I think I saw that difference more when I first started traveling here back in like 2010. I don't think that the quality of the produce has gone down in Portugal. I think maybe the quality has gone up in the United States. I mean, is everything as bad as people claim it is? No, not everything, but just enough to make you see that you're not living healthy if you're in the United States. But nah, fruits and vegetables, especially with the cost of the produce going up the way it has been, it's reaching American standards. In fact, bananas cost more in Portugal than in the United States. I don't understand the banana thing going on here. I look at the bananas and they're coming from Costa Rica. And it's from an American company named Del Monte. Europe is kind of close to Africa. There are African countries that are producing bananas. I'm not sure why Portugal is getting their bananas from Costa Rica. And if they're going to get bananas from that region of the world, shouldn't they be supporting Brazil, who, they have a close relationship with? I don't get that. Let's talk about meat. In the United States, you can marinate your meat in a liquid or a dry rub for 12, 16, 18, 24 hours, just sitting there in the fridge. If you do that in Portugal, you're not going to taste any meat once it's done. All you're going to taste are the spices and seasonings. Because meat in Portugal actually absorbs things, whereas it doesn't in the United States. And why doesn't it? Because your meat is being bathed in chemicals so that it looks fresher without necessarily being fresher for a longer period of time. So in Portugal, when you cook meat, you're going to be using less than half of the spices and seasonings that you use in the United States. That means you're going to be using less salt. Having an excess of sodium in your system leads to high blood pressure, which leads to coronary and cardiovascular issues. My blood pressure is 110/70. That's with all the stress that I put up with in the last year of changing my country, changing my continent, starting my life over. My blood pressure should not be 110/70. So you know what? I'm doing really, really well. Knock on wood. But with that American meat, it might look presentable, and you can go to a Pingo and ask yourself, why the hell does this chicken look slimy? Because a lot of times at places like Pingo and other Portuguese grocery stores, the meat looks unpresentable. But I hate to break it to you, looks are deceiving. That unpresentable meat is actually a lot fresher than the crap you're eating in the United States. So I'm down 24 pounds in 1 year, and I'm not eating any less than I did back home. That's one thing that I think is a myth. People like to talk about portion sizes at American restaurants. I think they're just as big at Portuguese restaurants. I can go to a Portuguese restaurant and I'll be stuffed with a considerable amount of food left on that plate. You can get a piece of meat, and that meat is going to come with French fries and rice here in Portugal. And it's not a half and half thing either. You're getting a full portion of French fries, you're getting a full portion of rice. I don't really understand that double carbohydrate thing. And to be honest, I really don't like it. Even though everything is nice and fresh, it tastes great, to me, it doesn't go. And, they don't do the no carb, low carb thing here. I'm not sure many people even know about it. There's no need to. With how fresh and natural everything is, it goes right through you. If you're in the United States and you find yourself having to rely on an Atkins diet, a low carb diet, a no carb diet, a South Beach diet, I got to tell you, you're fucked. you truly are. And I would advise you to get the hell out of the United States if that's what it's coming to. Because your body needs carbohydrates. And I know, easier said than done. Yeah, I did it, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. But you only get one shot with your health. You cannot be going low carb, no carb. Your body needs carbohydrates, and that is something that needs to go far away from this world. But of course, I realize the only way that's going to go far away is if the food quality gets better. Most of the time when you see or hear people talking about the portion size in American restaurants, it's usually a restaurant where that's their gimmick, to get people talking, get a social media buzz, get people in the door. Most of these restaurants, in the meals that you order, you're not getting 3 or 4 meals in each one. But there are other reasons why you're going to be healthier living in Portugal, and it's not just the food. It's the fact that you're naturally going to be more active. Driving a car is not an option for me. And I think in cities here, even in smaller cities like Guimarães, a lot of people aren't driving here either. They're going out every day, religiously, multiple times a day, to do what they have to do. They're not getting on buses, even though the buses are accessible, but they're going to their grocery stores, they're going out for walks. That's right. People here go out and take walks for no reason. No destination. Imagine that. And you're just naturally more active. In the days in which I work in Porto, I have to walk from my apartment in Guimarães to the bus station. Then I walk from Campanhã to where my office is located. At the end of the day, I go from my office back to Campanhã, and then from the bus station in Guimarães back to my building. And I've already walked about 5 to 6 miles, not even trying. That's not even my intention to get exercise in. So it just happens naturally. And in the days when I'm working in Guimarães and the weekends, I'm going out anyway and doing that. I've now reached the point where walking 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles or more is not a problem. I just do it. It's become a part of my life. I haven't driven a car in more than a year now. And I don't miss driving the least bit. And not only that, I'm never going to do it because of the cost of cars in Europe. The cost of gas is obscene, double the cost of the United States. And there are cheaper cars in Europe that you can't get in the United States, like Dacia and Citroën. But all you have to do is Google lifespan of, say, the Dacia Sandero or the Citroën C3. It's only going to last you like 140,000 miles. And then Google Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. It's going to last you between 250,000 and 300,000 miles. So is a European car really cheaper? The answer is no. So moving to Portugal, you're going to be a lot more active, like multiple times more active than you were in the United States. Oh, and by the way, I don't belong to any gym. You just don't need to, unless your intent is to build muscle and look muscular, you don't need to join a gym to be healthy in Portugal. Your mental health is also going to improve. When you're not feeling sluggish, when your blood pressure is down and when your weight is down, you're going to feel better. You're going to have a better disposition in life. And it's not like the 24 pounds just came off in one shot. The first week I was here, I lost 5 pounds. Spent about 10% of that week in the bathroom. But that's what's going to happen. It's your body getting rid of chemicals, of preservatives, of anything artificial. In the first month, I lost a total of 9 pounds. So the remaining 15 pounds just kind of fell off over the next 11 months. But yeah, I mean, I feel great. Funny story is, or not a story, but a funny thing is, a good friend of mine in Florida said to me, you need to start eating more, because if you get one of those illnesses that causes you to lose weight, there might not be much left of you. And yeah, he's right, but I can only consume what I'm capable of consuming. If I didn't drink beer, I would have lost even more weight. And who knows? Maybe Superbach is keeping me alive. The proof in what I'm saying is, I took a trip back to New York in May to see my family. And one morning, my sister says, hey, I'm going to make breakfast. I found these organic frozen waffles at Trader Joe's. I'm like, okay, organic. I can give this a shot. She said, oh yeah, they're really good, high quality. Okay, we had breakfast. Then I went out to take a walk. A half hour later, I was throwing up in the grass. So if your goal in moving to Portugal is to get healthier, yeah, you're going to be able to do that. And chances are it's going to take very minimal effort. So if you want more videos about moving to Portugal, the process of getting here, Portuguese football, anything Portugal related, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and hype the video. These are the best things you can do to help a content creator on YouTube. I want to thank you all for watching, and hey, come to Portugal and get healthy.